All right, hello YouTube. I haven't done a video on this particular subject in quite a while, and I have some new stuff to talk about here regarding James Gunn's Superman. Lots to cover, so let's get started. Um, and I mean a lot to cover. I wanted to give. I watched the trailer. Um, I want to talk about. I want to talk about the trailer. I want to talk about the. I want to talk about the company's just absolutely bullshit promotion. That the marketing that this movie is. That this movie's getting. Um, I'm going to be talking about. Um, I'm going to be talking about a lot of the advertising um, for this movie. Like there are a lot of fake accounts out there promoting this movie, and I would go as far as to say that Warner Brothers. Well, actually, no. It's pretty safe to say this. I can probably say this for a fact. Actually, Warner Brothers is not only very, very nervous about this movie, but remember, remember, guys, Warner Brothers stocks are in the toilet right now, and they have been for quite a while. They have been for quite a while now, and and if this movie fails, and trust me, it will. When this movie fails, Warner Brothers has no other big movies coming out this year. Evil Dead, the next Evil Dead movie isn't coming out till next year. So they have no other, they have no other major movies coming out this year. Superman is it. Another thing that, um, another thing I want to talk about. They just recently fired, um, I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but he was the marketer. Um, he was the marketer. He was in charge of marketing for movies like Barbie, Man of Steel, Superman Returns. Um, he was there. I think he was there for like 30 something years. And he was in charge basically of all the major, a lot of the major movies that, that Warner Brothers put out over the years. And I think he was there for Batman versus Superman as well. Um, so he's been there for pretty much, all the Superman movies that have come out. Um, and they fired him. So, and a lot of the, um, a lot of the movies that ended up being hits, a lot of the Warner Brothers movies that ended up making, a pretty good, chunk of money, this guy was a part of. And, and given the fact, that Warner Brothers is just in so much trouble right now and, is in so much trouble right now, they know, you know, they, I think they, at this point they pretty much know how screwed they are, and they pretty much know how screwed they are, and between you know between all the fake accounts that are out right now promoting this movie, um promoting promoting this movie, I would literally go as far as to say um that Warner Brothers is paying these these individual fake accounts. I would go as far as to say that they are paying them to, to say, to say positive things about, Superman. Well, I mean, the movie isn't out yet, but so I shouldn't say, that they're paying them to say positive things about it because the reviews aren't out yet, but they are paying them. I would go as far as to say that they are paying them, to advertise and, and put up and put out, like all this, and put out, like all this false hype for this movie. That they, that Warner Brothers themselves knows is going to be a failure. Excuse me. It's literally, I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to be the Flash all over again. They paid, like when the Flash, before the Flash came out, they screened the entire thing. They screened the entire movie at CinemaCon that year. They are not doing that for Superman. And if I had to guess why, why that's happening, again, it's because Warner Brothers knows how fucked they are. They know that people are not going to be, are not going to be sold on this movie. It's like, and another thing that I need to very heavily emphasize here. Warner Brothers is not dropping a trailer for Superman during the Super Bowl. The biggest fucking, TV event of the year that literally everybody and their mother watches. Okay? That is the time to promote a movie like this. Okay? That is the time, you're trying to get people, to go see this movie, to care about this movie. And you aren't even going to drop, and you aren't even going to drop a fucking trailer during one of the biggest events of the year. It's like, you fucking kidding me? And and given and a couple of other things to keep in mind. Peter Safran, who who they originally assigned to who they originally signed to handle like the promotion and and like the money, like the money side, like the business side of DC. His contract expires this year. James Gunn's contract is set to expire next year. Now, what has James Gunn done during his entire reign? Excuse me, since he's been put in charge. Let's take a look. He gave us Creature Commandos that most people were very disappointed with, and most people did not end up watching. He gave us or I should say, he's giving us season 2 of Peacemaker, which I believe is set to air on Max in August. All of these, all these things that, none of these things are going to attract, um, general audiences. You know, the Suicide Squad was a bomb at the box office, and yes, that was obviously, before, um, that was before he was brought in, as president of DC Studios. But but he got, he brought that in. You know, Gunn is obsessed with fucking team up movies. Even you know even even Peacemaker, which even the Peacemaker TV show, even though it's called Peacemaker, he's teaming up with other characters. He has a whole team, um he ends up working with, so it's not just him. I am so fucking tired of fucking team up projects. I just want to see, if you look at all the DC, properties that Gunn has done, he did the Suicide Squad. He did, Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, he did Creature Commandos. These are all team up projects. And none of these, none of these. Yes, the Guardians of the Galaxy was, successful, but Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, and Creature Commandos, the general audience didn't give a single shit about any of those. You're not gonna, you're not going to attract, you're not going to attract general audiences by, by bringing in all these characters that people aren't familiar with. You aren't. Like, look at, again, look at all the things that I just listed, right? Meanwhile, we don't have a Batman. We're getting, we're getting a Superman that looks like complete shit. We don't have a Flash. We don't have, a Wonder Woman. We don't have, no, we don't have a Justice League. And and there's also the problem. Superman does not sell as well as Batman does. Batman Batman is the most popular character that DC has. Batman makes it, it's just a fact. Batman makes more money than Superman does. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. That's how it is. So anybody, so anybody, who's gonna, so anybody, who's gonna sit there and bullshit me and go, oh, it's a Superman movie, everybody knows, who Superman is. It'll make money. You don't know that. You don't know that. Superman has never made as much money as Batman has. That is a fact. Scott Snyder's Absolute Batman was named the #1 best-selling comic book of last year, of 2024. And So all the people, who, so all the people, who are going to try to use, the lowest common denominator as an argument, uh, saying, oh, it's this, it's that, it'll make money because of, X, Y, and Z. No, it won't. No, it won't. Marketing is so important to a movie. Marketing marketing is marketing is is getting people interested in going to see your movie. If you don't, if the movie isn't marketed properly, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to bomb. It, and Warner Brothers being, again, 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 with their stocks in the toilet, and and pretty much having, no money right now. They don't even, they're not even promoting this properly, and they're desperate. They are very, very desperate right now. So what are we getting instead of, so what are we getting? Um, you know, uh, what are we getting, trailers for during the Super Bowl? From what I understand, there's going to be a trailer for Fantastic Four. There's going to be a trailer for the next Jurassic World, or whatever the next, Jurassic Park movie is called. But wait, there'll be a new Superman trailer during fucking Puppy Bowl. It's like, yeah, that's a great time to drop a Superman trailer. That's a great time to drop a Superman trailer. I don't believe this. I really don't. And in all the, everybody that's saying, oh yeah, everybody out there right now who's saying, oh, the trailer looks amazing, and it's got, it's got over, like X amount of views. Let me tell you guys something. Warner Brothers, or James Gunn, has the Superman trailer playing on his personal, um on his personal account, as an ad. That counts as a view. Okay? That counts as a view. That that alone right there, that alone right there is lying in advertising. So, and the fact that Warner Brothers, pretty much has no uh money right now to promote this thing properly, or we've watched Warner Brothers, shit all over DC for years. That's no, they did it to Zack Snyder. They did it to David Ayer. They did it to Richard Donner back in the day. They did it to Joel Schumacher. They did it to um, they did it to um, why am I forgetting his name? They did it to um, James Wan with Aquaman 2. From what I understand, there is a director's cut of Aquaman 2. So, this is, this is not a good sign. This is not going to save um DC or Warner Brothers. It's not. And and I've already given you, every reason in the book to I've already given you, every reason, and I've already given you every reason in the book, why this movie is dead on arrival. You know, and and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Fans don't want the you know the diehard, fans out there, the general audiences, they don't want a reboot. They don't see a need for it. You're trying, it's like you're trying to get, the idea of, you're trying to get, you know, you're trying to get people, to get behind, this Superman, this new Superman actor, when you can't even promote the movie properly. The marketing for this movie is laughable. It's laughable. It's ridiculous. The movie itself has, and I know I've said this many, many times, but this movie has the look of something that could have come out like 20 years ago. The suit itself, which I know I've talked about to death here on the channel, but the suit itself looks like a wetsuit with a diaper over it. It looks cheap. It looks, it looks, it looks cheap. It looks, it's just, it looks cheap. It looks like no love was put into it. It is such a downgrade from what we've seen from what we've seen in Superman suits in the past. Look at Brandon Routh's Superman costume. Look at Christopher Reeves. Look at Henry Cavill's. Look at Tyler Hoechlin's from Superman and Lois. Those were all great looking suits. Those were all great looking suits. This looks like shit. This looks like something, out of the, this looks like something, out of the early to mid 2000s. It's embarrassing. It really, really is. And, and and this is supposed to be the first, Superman movie since, by the time this movie comes out, it'll officially have been 13 years since Man of Steel. And Henry Cavill, and Zack Snyder defined, redefined, Superman when they did Man of Steel. People, everybody fell in love with his Superman, myself included. And, the fact that, it's like, and, I know I probably said this before, but, it's like only James Gunn could fuck up something so simple. I mean, it's just, it's what he does. He's never been, comic book accurate. He's never been, true to the characters. His interpretation of Peacemaker is nothing like the one in the comics. Nothing. His interpretation of Um, the Suicide Squad, nothing like the comics. His interpretation of um, Creature Commandos, nothing like the comics. James Gunn is James Gunn's take on DC is like the Naked Gun. Is like the Naked Gun adult. It's like the Naked Gun adult pedophile version, and it's disgusting. You know, I and and I really, and I really, really wouldn't be surprised at all if after this movie came out, Warner Brothers just decided to shelve the DC brand until someone buys it. Because, the way that, the way that this movie is looking right now, between the marketing and the lack of hype and and the lack of hype and the fact that Warner Brothers is literally doing the exact same thing but this movie, that they did for the Flash, says to me this movie is fucked. This movie, this movie is this movie is not gonna this movie is not going to please the general audience. It's not going to please the fans. It's not. I mean, and do I want this movie to fail? No, obviously I don't. But in all honesty, it needs to fail. It needs to it needs to fail. This movie needs to fail so DC can finally get back to what it was before fucking, Gunn came on. Because nothing that James Gunn is doing, nothing that James Gunn is doing right now is, nothing that he is doing right now is DC. Like for fucking, Peacemaker, it's like, oh, he's racist, he's sexist. That's not DC. That's not DC. And I'm just, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And I know I'm not the only one, who thinks this right now, because Fire James Gunn, because Fire James Gunn is trending literally everywhere right now. It's not just me. Everybody is sick and tired of James Gunn. Myself included, in case you can't tell. The fact that they gave this pedophile the keys to the kingdom is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And it's like, I would love nothing more than for this movie to come out in July, for me to go see it and be like, oh my God, that was amazing. But you know what? Everything that I have seen, everything that I have heard is literally telling me there is nothing amazing about this movie. Nothing that I have seen and or heard about this movie so far says to me that this movie is going to be worth seeing, or that this movie is is worthy of the DC brand, because it's not. It's not. It's not. You have I rewatched the Superman trailer not that long ago, and everything about it again, everything about it, it looks cheap, it looks mediocre, it looks it looks cheap, it looks mediocre, it looks y- you know, it, it doesn't look it doesn't look, up to date. It looks unfinished. It literally looks like half a movie. And you know, and everything, you know, just literally everything about nothing about that trailer screamed Superman to me. Any Every single scene in that trailer where they showed Superman, he was either bloodied and beat up or he was being hated on. There's a shot in the trailer when Superman has his back turned, and when Superman has his back turned, and these people are protesting, and they're throwing, like cans, and they're throwing, like trash, and they're throwing like trash, and like cans and stuff at him. And also, if you go back and rewatch the trailer, you'll notice Superman Superman doesn't smile once in that entire trailer. Not once. So everybody out there, who says, oh, Henry Cavill sucked as Superman, and you're a Snyder cultist, and and all this other bullshit. Explain to me what screams Superman about that trailer. I mean, explain to me what was so amazing about that trailer, because I didn't see one single thing that said to me, I didn't see one single thing that screams, this is the Superman movie that we've been waiting for. It's just, we had, we had a great thing with the Snyderverse, and I'm not ruling out, I'm not ruling out the possibility that the Snyderverse might eventually come back. It's just a question of when. All the actors have already said that they're willing to come back. As all the actors, have already said, that they're on board, willing to come back if Zach does. And Zach has said many, many times that he is willing to come back and finish, finish what he started. Another thing to keep in mind, Snyder's fan base is a hell of a lot bigger than Gunn's. James Gunn is nowhere near as popular as Snyder is. And, and people, who fell in love with the Snyderverse, myself included, obviously, they don't want this reboot. They don't. There's no need for it. They have, and people might, and some people out there will say, well, the actors have aged out and blah, 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 blah. That doesn't matter. They've already said they're more than willing to come back. And, and I'm not, and I'm not, and there are obviously other ways that it can come back. It doesn't have to be, through Warner Brothers. They could sell it to Netflix. They could sell it to Netflix. Comcast said at one point that Comcast said at one point that they wanted to restore the Snyderverse. Um, um, they could sell it to Universal, which has been one of the rumors going around, that Warner Brothers might sell the DC brand to Universal. So so things, anything could happen. Anything could happen. It doesn't have to be, through Warner Brothers. There are other options. Warner Brothers stocks are in the toilet. They're desperate for, they're really, 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 really desperate. But, and according to the, according to the test screenings, for Superman, they didn't go well at all, from what I saw. I think that there were at least 2 or 3 test screenings at one point. One of them held directly in the Warner Brothers lot. And everybody, and from what I understand, everybody in the room looked at him and went, yeah, you should have just restored the Snyderverse. So, things are not looking good for this movie. And again, and if this movie fails, that's it. Warner Brothers has no other big major movies coming out this year. This is it. That they don't, there's no second chances here. This is it. But anyway, yeah, I will, I'll keep you guys updated, obviously. I just thought, I would do this because I haven't done, one of these in quite some time. But yeah, no, things are not looking good for this movie right now. And again, marketing is so important for, for movies, especially a movie like this. Especially a movie like this. And I honestly don't remember a time. I honestly don't remember a time. I honestly don't remember a time. Where marketing for a comic book movie was so bad. I honestly don't. If you can think of one, please leave. If you can think of one, please, leave. Leave a. Leave a description in the comments, but I cannot think of the last time, a marketing for a comic book movie was so bad. The marketing for Matt Reeves' The Batman, you literally couldn't go anywhere without seeing that movie advertised in some form. Again, obviously, because it was a Batman movie. I mean, that was obviously one of the reasons. Batman sells better than Superman. But yeah, no, this is not good. And and anybody out there who thinks, oh well, wait, and everybody, and anybody out there who is saying, oh, wait till the movie comes out, it'll be fine, people will see it. Yeah, you people are fucking delusional. I'm sorry, but you are. Anybody, anybody uh anybody out there, who thinks that it you're anybody out there who thinks that you people are delusional. You have no clue what you're talking about. Not putting, not dropping a trailer during for not dropping a movie trailer, for one of the biggest, superheroes of all time. And not to mention, this is the most important movie that Warner Brothers has ever put out, period. Again, their stocks are in the toilet. They are they are on the verge of bankruptcy, and they are doing literally nothing to promote this movie. So they are very, 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 very rapidly digging their own grave. I mean, I'm obviously not saying, uh, obviously, going bankrupt doesn't, obviously automatically mean that you're going to go out of business, but I can definitely say for sure when this movie fails, they're not going to be able to keep DC after this. They're going to have to sell it. So I'm obviously not saying, yeah, they're going to go out of business when they go when this movie fails, but they're not going to keep DC. I can tell you that right now. They're not going to be able to keep the DC brand. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll keep you guys updated. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.